Hey, welcome back to another Swarmpit video. So, last video we have seen how we can create, let's say, a highly available Python service, which is reverse proxied with the help of Nginx. And now I want to extend on that example, and we are going to introduce a Redis service in the way. And basically, the idea behind the Redis service is to provide you with like backend. So the front end will be the Flask application, and the backend will be Redis, and the load balancing will be trusted on the Docker load balancer based on the name, and the reverse proxy is Nginx. And at the end of the day, if everything goes well, we should be able to provide this service to the outside world. So let's grab a coffee and jump right into it. So first, what we have to do is to jump into our Raspberry Pi. So this is just going to be like a walkthrough of the app.py code. So technically, this is how it looks like. We are using the Flask module, the Redis module, and the platform module. The platform module is needed because in the default context route, we want to return the node name on which the application or the front end is running. This is just to verify that the requests are load balanced in a round robin fashion. And we want to provide a set context route which accepts post requests, and we are able to set a key and value pair, and the get should return the value of a given key if it exists. And we are going to run on port 8081. All right. So the first thing that we have to do is to create our temp rnginx.conf file. And basically here, what we are going to define is an HTTP listener for the Nginx, and we will have the upstream, which is the Python app, and it will connect to the front ends via the port 8081, and we will use reverse proxy here. So that's going to be the configuration for the Nginx. And now we can jump right into creating our stack. So let's call this stack to HA Redis Python. And I'm going to increase the size a bit so you can see it better. So the other thing that I wanted to show you is that on the hub.docker.com, if we log in, yes, with my username and password, and the password for that, then this is going to be the Flask Redis Python app that we are going to use. Container, you can see that I created it today just to make sure that this is prepared so we don't have to bother about it. Although, one thing that comes to my mind is that I am using Raspberry Pis. So in order to deploy this container image, it has to have the appropriate architecture. And basically, this one is going to be Linux ARM64 v8 image, which is supposed to run on my Swarmpit or Docker Swarm cluster. It is important to note because otherwise it would be hard to run any kind of image which is of different architecture. So the version, this is going to be version 3, and the services. The first one that we define is the Nginx, and the image is Nginx latest. And we are going to use the ports, and And basically we want to use, oh my config ha redis. So that's not the right one. Okay, that's the Redis server. All right, let's do it this way. So 10,001 exposed to the port 80, and we will have the volumes mapped as follows. So the temp nginx.conf is mapped to the etc nginx.nginx.conf, and that's for the volume mapping. And for the Python part, what we have to do is to define the Python, and this is going to be called cat nginx.conf Python app. And now we want to pull the image from here. And basically we should definitely use this one, flask Redis Python app. And this is going to be the name. Good. And now, since we have the image, we can define the HA, so the high availability. And this comes to the deployment. So this is going to be the deploy, and hold on, ports 80, 81 to 8081. That's fine. And we also need the deploy, and the replicas is going to be 3, and the restart policy is going to be conditioned on failure, and the placement is going to have the constraints, which will be the node.role equals worker. And for here, the Nginx, we need to define that the deploy constraints and node.role equals, it should be manager. So that's the constraint. And we need to have the Redis service. 1.2 Redis server. And the image is going to be Redis. And the container name is going to be Redis server. So that should be it. And we can, well, let's do the following. So deploy constraints and the node.role equals worker, just to make sure that this is available. So the configuration is in place, and we have the image for that. So let's try to deploy it. Additional property constraints not allowed. So the deploy So placement, and here we have to adjust this. So 1, 2, 1, 2, deploy and placement 1, 2, 1, 2. Restart policy not allowed. So restart policy condition. Let's delete it. We could further fine-tune it, and I'm going to have a gist linked to the description of this video, and you will be able to copy-paste this code if you want. So now, wow, it is running, and we should be able to test it. So here, the CURL, HTTP, localhost 10,001, and as you can see, the response is coming in. So basically, if I do this once again, you will see 3 different responses. And if we want, we can spin up Bruno. So I have prepared a command for you. That's gonna be the CURL command. And basically this allows us to send or set a key. And as you can see, the key name was set successfully. And if you want, CURL, HTTP, CNET, 10,001, get name. It should return the appropriate value. So let's give it the age, which is 33, and get the age. And as you can see, it is working. And if we open up our browser and visit the HTTP repurpy.ddns.net 10,001, you can see that this is working. And if we get the name, we get back the name Daniel. And if we get the age, we get back the age. And if we try to get something which is not set, you can see that the key something was not found. And I have another application which is called Bruno. And we are going to see how you can use it. So here we want to create a collection demo, and I don't know, let's create it in the downloads. And basically new request, and the request name is landing page, and we want to use the HTTP repurpy.ddns.net port 10,001 and save. And as you can see, this is the response from that. And if you want, we can create a post request, and for the body we should be able to define a JSON body, and we want to use the set, and we want to send the following JSON body. Come on. So let's repurpose it. This is going to be the right one, and we want to set Bruno and value API demo, And if you play it, you can see the Bruno key was set successfully. And if you get Bruno and play it, you can see this is the key and value pair. So technically, this is how you can create your highly available Redis-backed Flask web service, which provides an interface for Redis. And that was all. See you in the next one.